quick checkup on you. I didn't get the video camera out, so I wanted to get you to first and foremost talk about this fight you got going on.
Okay.
Well, now would be a good... Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say. So we got the fight coming up this week. It's a fight week right now. So fighting on October 20th on another Thompson boxing card. And it's looking to be a good packed show, and I'm ready for it. And I've been training through all these, the wildfires have been going on in the area, and it's a little setback because, my coach is the sheriff, and he's involved with it a lot. But it's a good thing that I have my dad and my uncle, on my corner just to back me up whenever Oscar's not available. So, before the fires had happened, I was in LA getting that good work down there. And so coming back home to this, if anything, it just made me train harder just because I knew what I had to do, and I knew that I couldn't let it slip away because of something, just like that. It happens, and we got to move past it, and I needed to train hard, and I'm looking to put on a show this Friday and to show everybody what I've been working on, showcase a little bit of different style and everything, and I think it's going to be a good outcome.
And that's part of why I wanted to get you on the show, was not just because you're a fighter that I really like. I see you working hard in the gym. You do something that I love seeing a young fighter do. You travel to get work, which a lot of young fighters don't do. Yeah. They don't sacrifice, and I think that's a good sign to see where people are going. I speak highly of you, but I don't know, for listeners who aren't from Northern California that realize how bad Santa Rosa was affected by the wildfires, but my brother lives in Healdsburg, and he sent me videos of what happened. Just explain to people the magnitude of the fires and just what you kind of went through in the last stages of camp, because I assume you didn't run for the end of your camp, or you had to do it on a Nordic track.
Recently with all this stuff that's been happening, it's been off and on.
Was that on your end? Is that just Napa now that calls just drop?
Yeah, sometimes I have my reception's been really bad recently in this area ever since the fires. Something about the cell towers have been acting up because they had damage done to it.
Okay, because basically I asked it a long-winded question that I'm not going to re-ask again in the long-winded form. But what was it like?
Honestly, because I'm out of Napa, and it appeared to be that Santa Rosa had a pretty devastating fire, that it actually hit inside the town and actually took out a lot of homes from what I had seen, because my girlfriend actually attends over there, goes to college out there, and right around her area is where the fires that actually hit, and it looked pretty bad from what she had sent me. But here in Napa, since we live in a valley, we were surrounded on the perimeters, the outskirts of Napa, so it wasn't too much in the city, but it was in our vineyards and everything, and all the work was cut off because the air quality was really bad. It was I believe they had it at a scale out of 500 being the worst it could ever get. I think it was a 486, and it was really hard, really hard on your lungs. And I stayed indoors majority of the time. I didn't really ever go out, and I remember you asking me what I did for cardio. And I ran, but I did most of my running on treadmills and ellipticals and more indoors, I kept it all inside. And actually, speaking about that also, with the fire, it had I ran along the outside of Napa. My gym is actually on the outskirts of Napa a little bit. And the fire had been about, I'd say maybe a mile or so, maybe less, from the actual gym where I train. So we had to get evacuated from there. We weren't able to attend the gym. So one day I just drove over there while it was smoky and everything. I just drove over there and got all my things and I hit the road, head back home, and then decided, since some of these gyms in the heart of the town opened up, and some of them have a few punching bags and stuff. That's all I really need, that just to run and some mitts. And my sparring, the good thing was my sparring had all been out of town, so that's what helped me a lot. And I mean, just the basic fundamentals, just keeping in shape, keeping my weight down. That's all I could do that all without a gym, and I was lucky enough that it happened at this time, not like last 2 weeks or so when I was actually sparring.
I can't imagine it, because I was telling people, I posted this on my IG, the Monday when the fires were happening in Santa Rosa, arsonists lit a apartment complex where I live on fire. And it was just one building, and my whole neighborhood freaked out. And that's nothing compared to what happened up there.
Yeah, no, it was really bad, because I remember Sunday night, I was actually speaking to my cousin, and he was telling me, he was like, man, I think there's a fire. And I wasn't, I was like, oh, fire, okay, it happens. But then I had seen it, like, I stepped outside, and I could see the glare, and I was like, wow, this must be a big fire. And it was in the area of my work, so then I was kind of like, well, I wonder what's going to happen. I was like, oh, whatever, I went to sleep not thinking about it. But then before I fell asleep, I started smelling like a really strong odor of smoke, and I was like, wow, this is really bad, like it smells strong. So I closed all the windows and I went to sleep. I had woke up getting ready for work, and I woke up to I woke up to no reception, and then I got a iMessage text that said no work. And so I went to the window to look, and the sky was smoky. And then I went on Facebook and Instagram, and man, all over they were talking about these wildfires and how big. And man, I did not think it was going to be that big ever. It literally, like, that thing was huge. And I think they said altogether through Santa Rosa, I think it was Clear Lake, all those places where all these fires, I think they burnt up like 190 acres or something like that. 190,000 acres.
That is bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's the worst I've ever seen. I spoke to my dad because I guess they had one back in '81, but he said this one is just right about there with it. And I was just in shock that they all happened at once. That's why I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical about believing that it was just a natural thing. So.
Well, I think all of us are a little weirded out by that, because I don't want to be Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but like my brother was telling me that, like, for some reason the fire department dropped the ball bad. And to me, that kind of weirds me out, and maybe I'm Mr. Too Patriotic or something, but typically people who get paid to do something professionally don't miss the ball that badly.
Exactly.
So that's what kind of weirds me out, is that, like, they didn't really have a track on it, and that they all hit at the same time. So
that's what I was wondering. I was like, I told my dad, I was like, how is it possible that they hit in every side of Napa? They hit in Santa Rosa. They hit all the way up north, all the way. Actually, I think they went there were fires all the way up to the Oregon border. I was like, how is that possible? That is crazy. And all in the same night.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem right.
And my friend, she was like telling me, because in my neighborhood there was a fire. She goes, don't you think that's a little weird that there's fires all throughout Napa, and now all of a sudden, basically, because a firefighter told me about the fire on my street, if it was windy, my whole neighborhood would have been burned down. Because they said the only thing that stopped the fire was that there was no wind that night. And she's like, you don't think that that's a little weird? That, like, it almost feels like someone's going down the road and now they went to your neighborhood. And and then there was like not to make it all about me, but there was like some weird guy, because I was trying to find the people that lost their homes that night because I was pissed. Yeah. And I was trying to let them stay with me. I was like, you can stay at my house, because I felt that was the right thing. And there was a weird guy that really bothered me who was like talking about the fire. And she was like, why didn't you take a photo of him? And I go, when it's other people's lives on the line, you don't really think about that stuff.
Exactly. That's, I've heard several things about them seeing people along, in vans and stuff here specifically in Napa. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in private.
yeah, but I heard little rumors here and there. But, I mean, hey, I'm just going to let them do the job, because I have actually a couple of family members that are actually, that were actually volunteer firefighters and everything. And, I mean, I was speaking to him on the side, and I was telling him, like, thank you, I appreciate everything you're doing. And he was like, hey, man, just focus on your training. We got this. I was like, hey, that's all I need to know. As long as you know you guys got it, so I'm good. I'm focused.
So now let's bring it all back home so we can get you there. Going into your fight now, I already asked you at the top of the thing, but how much, like, you're not just fighting for you, and I doubt that you ever fight for just you, but you're fighting for Napa, Santa Rosa. You're fighting for a whole region that a lot of
for the whole North Bay, the whole just this whole area. I mean, as some would call it, the area code 707, the Bay Area. I mean, honestly, I'm fighting for all of them because they've all been affected, and I mean, I was somewhat affected just breathing wise, but not actually like home infected. But I feel bad because I have personal people that I know that have been affected by this, and I mean, just to see everybody going through this situation, it's hard, and it's something that I want to fight for, and hopefully everything goes back to normal, and then everybody can get back to working and getting all that going.
So, for the listeners of this show who love Northern California boxing, just explain to them how they can watch you fight, because I know Thompson does an excellent job getting their fights out there, and they can follow you, and where they can send you messages once you win. Okay.
Well, everybody could live stream the fight. I mean, they're going to be doing live streaming on October 19th as well. For the weigh-ins, I will be doing a live interview, so I believe that starts around 12:30ish. And then from there, they'll do the weigh-ins directly after. And then the next day, on the 20th, they will be live streamed via the Thompson's Boxing Facebook page or on the Thompson Boxing website. And you could watch the fights. They start at 7:45, and I will be the opening bout. And to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram. That's the one I'm mostly active on. My Instagram is Team Trejo. That's TEAMTREJO. And then on Facebook, you can just find me at Brandon Trejo. And then on Twitter, I'm BTrejo66. And I'm usually pretty active on all of them, but the most active to keep up to date, message me or anything would be Instagram, and I'm always on that one. So, I mean, if you guys ever need to ask me something about shirts or, just want to congratulate, if you just want to talk, just say hi, hello, I'm always welcoming people in, to Team Trejo and everything. I support everybody that supports me.
Yeah, and I got to give you one other little bit of props. I feel like really successful boxers who are young, who are going to go farther, have a Twitter account early on. I know that sounds silly, but it's something I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always had my Twitter. I try to stay on it as much. I fade from it for a little bit because I'm so focused on the pictures and videos of Instagram, but then I'm like, oh, you know what? It's there. So I got to go back to it every once in a while.